Hello viewers, welcome to our program on immigration and legal affairs. I am your immigration attorney Michael Fulwani, and once again we have with us attorney David Nachman, my partner.
Thanks so much, Michael.
Before we start the
Pleasure.
program today, David wants to make some announcement about his trip to India. David?
Oh, well, actually, we made the announcement last week, but I think I just want to follow up by indicating to everyone that I'm planning a trip to India. I'm actually going to be on a delegation of about 25 immigration lawyers. We're going to be traveling to India with the American Immigration Lawyers Association. Well, we're going to have an opportunity to meet with consular officials in New Delhi, in Mumbai, and in Chennai. And actually, I'm going to also try to get an audience with some of our consular friends in Hyderabad. And at that time, while I'm there, of course, I would entertain the possibility of being able to meet with friends, with family, with our clients while I'm there. So please feel free to reach out to the email address on your screen or the telephone number on your screen, and let us know if you'd like to meet with us, with me, while I'm in India. And what we'll do is we'll try to coordinate something for the trip. So if you or you have any family members who would like to meet with me while I'm there, please feel free to reach out for us, or reach out for Michael by email, and he'll help us to coordinate the appointment either in our office over there or in one of the places where I'll be staying.
Absolutely.
So,
As
yeah.
David said, if you need any assistance in me contacting you, David, and getting an appointment for any of your relatives, friends, let me know. I'll be more than happy to do it. Yes.
Great. Thanks so much, Michael.
You're welcome.
So, Michael, you wanted to say something in Hindi, and
basically, this program kind of reminds me of something that I can say in Hindi few words. ये जिंदगी का सफ़र, ये कैसा सफ़र जिससे जाना नहीं, पहचाना नहीं, आ गए अमेरिका में हम स्टूडेंट वीज़ा से, और फिर ये सफ़र है स्टूडेंट वीज़ा से लेके ग्रीन कार्ड लेने का. तो यह सफ़र कैसे चलता है उस बारे में हम आपको बताएंगे, डेविड और मैं, कि ये सफ़र कहाँ शुरू होता है और कहाँ ख़त्म होता है. सो वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट अ जर्नी ऑफ अ स्टूडेंट, how it starts and where it ends. Now, obviously, basically we are talking about F-1 student visa, so we can talk about applying for F-1 visa at an American consulates and the issues related to that. And then, of course, prior to that, they have to also get an admission in a school, and they need evidence of financial support and all that. So they go step one.
Well, actually, Michael, I usually take the step even further back, and that is that a lot of individuals who enter the United States enter on visitor's visas. So they enter on a B1 or B2, because a lot of our Indian clients have the B1, B2, and they come over and they visit and they check out and see what schools they like. So what Michael's saying, of course, is that sometimes it starts with the F1. A lot of times it starts with a visitor's visa, which, number one, the individual can go back to the U.S. consulate abroad and process the F1 visa there, or they can request a change of status from their visitor status to F1 in the United States.
The problem there is this, David. First of all, it is very important to understand about a preconceived intent. Now, I had seen some people who went ahead and got the admission in a school sitting in India, got an I-20 form in India, and then they are going to the American consul to apply for the visa.
Right.
And there, the consuls, basically issue the visa because he doesn't know about the issue. Sorry, not a visitor visa. Sorry, comes on a visitor visa with I-20 that he already has. Now, starting with the CBP, Custom Border Protection Officer, he asks a question and he says, I'm coming on a visitor visa, but I will be applying for a student visa. Here's my I-20. You know what happens.
Right.
They'll probably exclude him, send away.
That's right.
Okay, let's say that he comes in here. And as you said, it applies for a change of status from visitor to student. But he's submitting them an I-20, which he got while he was sitting in India.
Oh, that's tricky.
So now it is on the face, basically, hey, you already had a plan, you got an I-20, and then you misused your visitor visa to come here. So there's a clear-cut preconceived intent, not an issue.
I agree with you, Michael. I think
even if he has not done it, if he comes in here, after 1 week he gets an I-20 admission and applies for a change of status, and the immigration service says, oh, it is clear to us that the 30, 60 day, 90-day rule, and there's a big problem. So be very careful on how you get the admission, when you get the admission, when you apply for the student visa, and this issue has to keep in mind also.
Exactly. I think that's a great point, Michael, and I think that the issue of preconceived intent is one that our viewers, of course, should be aware of. The circumstances which we see often is one in which, let's say, an individual has come in as a visitor to visit with friends or family, and then they go to a cocktail party, or they're out and they run into someone who either went to a university or is at the university, or even an individual who's on the staff of the university, and they say, hey, why don't you apply for admission? And they all of a sudden talk to their uncle or their aunt, and it turns out that they do have the financial support. So what they do is they move forward, they apply for the I-20. It's outside that 90-day period, okay? So they're outside, they're already, they're on the B1, B2, they're already outside that 90-day period, and then they have an I-20 in their hands. Now the question becomes for us, because we're sitting there talking to them in our office, can they change their status in the U.S.? And you're absolutely right that there is always going to be this issue that looms in the mind of the officer that there may have been preconceived intent, at least when USCIS is processing that change of status request. Yeah. So what is the best course of action? Well, of course, we're going to tell them, take that I-20 and go home, go to the U.S. consulate in India, get that visa stamp, and return. But a lot of people are not going to want to do that. Go ahead,
One
Michael.
other point, in addition to what we said, not a good idea to come on a B1, B2 and change, because there are a lot of limitations on time. He's coming in, and the course is starting in a month or 6 weeks. And the change of status is going to take much time, and then he cannot start going to school unless that has been approved.
That's right.
Also, even if he's successful, changes the status from visitor to student, at some point he goes back to India to the family or whatever. Then he has to go to the American consulate to get to get F-1 stamp. And I tell the people, you have to do that anyway. Why not just straightforward, get I-20, go there and apply for a student visa? The consul is happy that here's a guy, I issued him a visitor visa. Even if he got admission there, he did not try to change the status. He's back, he's applying at my consulate, a direct F-1 visa at a much better. And once he gets F-1 stamp, at least he's at peace. At peace and mind. He's worrying all the time. He came on a visitor visa, you helped him to change the status to F-1. His father died, mother died, something. There's no option to him not to go. He's going to go there and face the consul and get sometime a denial. Sometimes a 6C, fraud, misrepresentation also.
That's
a lifetime bar may come out of that.
Exactly. And these are the issues that come up. And I want the viewers to understand that obviously if you decide to do a change of status procedure in the United States, it's not impossible to do, it's not insurmountable, but it is difficult. And obviously the issues that Michael has raised here are issues that you have to go over with competent legal counsel to ensure that if you're going to request a change of status as opposed to going home and getting that visa stamp, that you make sure you understand all of the attendant risks.
Also, David, if he came on a visitor visa, he went back and he's applying for another F-1 visa, he has a track record to show that presumption. 214B, we'll talk after the break.
Exactly.
But that is helpful also in getting a F-1 visa, because he's clearly a guy who went and came back and had not any preconceived intention or anything.
Exactly.
But I think it's time for a short break. And this is a very interesting subject. We'll continue further discussion on the journey from a student to green card after the break. So stay tuned. We will be back.